Hi, welcome back to Game Room Crafts. My name is Kelly. This is my game room. Let's play. Today is the 13th day of the 13 days of Halloween, brought to you by Nerd Goblin Arts. Please check out the playlist below. Tons of artists, tons of projects, all about spooky season. So today is our grand finale. And on day one, I showed you that we had a set of molds from Into Resin. And in the set, you get the cat on the pumpkin, which we did on day one. If you haven't seen that, check out the video. It's day one of 13 days of Halloween. And I said to you then that we would do the second part of the set, which is our cute little ghost wearing a pumpkin hat later in the collaboration. And today is later. Today is the last day. So this little ghosty friend, and she has a very pretty smile, very cute smile. I wish I had some eyes because these are well indented. So if you have the eyes, you could pop them in there with UV resin. I think for our purposes, I will color them before I pour the resin. And she's wearing a pumpkin beret. So we're going to color the pumpkin. The kid and I have decided that we're going to use orange yellow for the pumpkin. This is orange yellow Say So glow in the dark powder. And we're going to mix it with the Rosafar orange mica powder. And we're just going to paint our pumpkin first. Because I was going to do it in like 2 separate pours and pour the pumpkin first and let it cure. But I ain't got time for that. And I say paint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the orange yellow with some alcohol in here. And then we'll add in some of the orange mica powder and make a nice paint and get in there and paint our beret. And then I'll do the same thing with the eyes. I will paint the eyes. And normally for our ghost, I would paint her eyes black. But I think I'm going to do it different today. I think I'm going to make her eyes blue. If I can find a nice poppy blue. I think I have a nice blue chrome powder. So maybe we'll try that. Okay, so I see that I don't have my alcohol here. I'll use this one. I'm going to put gloves on because you're touching the inside of the mold. You can get your fingerprints in there, your natural oils, and it will stop your micas from adhering to the mold. I mean, nothing sticks permanently to silicone anyway, unless it's other silicone. And in my experience, actually, I've been having difficulty getting silicone to stick to silicone, unless it's the exact same silicone. So yeah, gloves on first, and then we're going to paint our beret. We'll do the beret first and then clean up and then go in and do our eyes. Now, if you notice, she has a smile already on there, but it's not an indentation in the mold. It's actually, it sticks out in the mold. So I don't know that it will paint well. What we might have to do is go in and use our metallic paint pens after the fact. Which, not a problem. By the way, I have other things here. You can see I have my little plug that I made, which I actually made this out of a domino set. And it's actually the perfect size to make a plug for my fairy lights. So yeah, actually it might be a little small. I don't know. Well, we're going to find out today because I am going to put the fairy lights in. These are very bendy. So you can bend it whichever way you want. And what I want to do is go up into the arms, into the hat, come back down into the arms, and then center of the body. So that way she will light up. On top of which we're going to be using glow in the dark powder. I'm going to clean this out before I start mixing anything in there. I see black glitter and I don't want black glitter today. Not today. Not on this project anyway. Isn't that funny? I've used black glitter in just about every one of our 13 days of Halloween projects in some way, shape, or form, but not today. Now, this little ghostie here takes quite a bit of resin. It says here, this is a Let's Resin. Well, this is it takes 9.9 fluid ounces. So I'll probably mix up 10 fluid ounces. Okay, I'm going to do 2 squirts of alcohol, and I'm going to drop our orange yellow Say So glow in the dark powder. I'm going to put quite a bit of it in there because I want our hat to glow. And I'm going to mix that, kind of rub it in really well with the alcohol. I'm trying to break up any clumps and break up that grittiness that's in there. That's a very bright orange. I'm trying to get in the corner of the cup because actually, should have used my rounded cup. It would make it easier. But, oh well, too late. So that's good. Let's see how good. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put a little bit more, and then once I'm good with that, I'm going to add my orange reservoir mica powder. Not a lot of it. I could have used a little orange alcohol ink, but I'm committed, or I should be one way or the other. Shh, don't tell the kid. Oh yeah, that's good. I hope I have enough to get in there. But you see, there's clumps. So I'll spray it down with the alcohol and rub it. Okay, now I have a little makeup brush. A cheapy little makeup brush I got from, I'm going to say I got it from Five Below. Yes, I did, I think. I need a fluffier one though, because that is pretty big pumpkin. And we decided not to go ahead and color the stem separately because kids okay with it just being orange. And she said, and if it doesn't look right, we can always color it with a pen, which we can't. Okay, I'm trying to get right down into the pumpkin, if you can see what I'm doing. No, basically what we just did was make an alcohol ink or alcohol paint. You can see through the mold, so make sure you're getting it where you want it and you're getting enough of it. Now, this is not enough. I know this is not enough. I mean, it looks like a lot, but it's not. I know this because when I did the skull the other day, I dabbed it and I thought, oh yeah, that's a lot. That's good. And then as it was going, I'm like, yeah, there doesn't really look like there's a lot there, because there wasn't. Whoops. I got some on her tummy, and I don't want orange on her tummy at all. Nope. No, I don't. Put a little bit of alcohol on my paper towel. Normally, I prefer to do the cleanups with baby wipe, but I grabbed the first thing that was available, and that was a paper towel. I'm going in circles so as to mitigate any streaking, but I really don't think it's making any difference because of the way this alcohol is pooling. Now, roll it around, trying to get up to that edge of the pumpkin that I can't reach that with the brush. Rub it in with my finger. I can still feel the graininess, feel the mica powder, and that's okay. Rub it in. Okay, so that's alcohol, and it should evaporate fairly quickly. We'll keep rolling it so that it doesn't all stay in one place. And from looking at it on the outside, that's really pretty. So I'm gonna try. I'm impatient. I'm going to keep rolling as I'm blowing it with the heat gun to try and get it to go everywhere. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Yep, I should not have done that. Nope. Remember, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Okay, so when I did that, basically all I did was clump everything that I had just painted in there into one spot. So I was better off just doing what I did earlier and just rolling it and continue to roll it and let it thicken up on its own. So I'm going to do that, and Kid's going to cue the music, and then we'll come back when we're ready to move on to next steps. Okay, now that that's done, or as good as I'm going to get it done, we're going to move on to the eyes. And for the eyes, I want to do the blue chrome powder because I really want that to pop. So I have royal blue and sapphire blue. And I'm thinking, I think we're going to use the royal blue today. This is the Baltic Day chrome powder in royal blue. I thought I used this one before, but I guess not. Let's try this one. And I'm going to try just using the powder that's on the cover piece. Just pick that up and see what we get. And I'm going to turn her sideways. I'm sorry if you can't see. Angled brush is not good for this particular shape that I'm doing, so I'm going to switch brushes out. Her eye is an oval and it's recessed, so I want to get right into that hole and burnish it in really good, and then I'll go back and I'll clean it up. Okay, I'm going to cover that before I flip it over. I'm famous for doing that. Famous, I tell ya. I'm going to go around the outside of the eye, which is fairly easy to feel, but I did get loose powder everywhere else, so wipe that up. How's she looking? Oh, goodness. Did you see that? I flipped it over and a whole bunch of orange just came falling out. Well, that's not good. That means everything that I just did earlier didn't work. It's even in her arms. You poor baby. All right, I see you. I see that you don't like what I did. I'm sorry, Miss Ghostie. Okay, so I think that didn't work because all that alcohol just dried up and it basically crumbled to dust, orange dust. So I am going to ultimately have to do like 2 pours. What I'll do is I'll mix up my resin, the 9.9 ounces. I will pour the beret and let it kind of thicken up and do its thing while I'm fixing up the rest of the resin for the rest of the ghostie. And it's not just resin. I have to do the lights and bend them to my will. I'm gonna clean up my brushes so that they're ready to go the next time I need them. That sapphire blue is really pretty. I'm hoping it's gonna pop against the rest of the ghost. Okay, so instead of mixing the whole 9.2 ounces, I think 3 should be enough for her. Yeah, so I'm gonna do 3. Mix up the 1-to-1, do 3, fill her hat. And then I'll start working on my lights, placement, and then mix up the rest of the resin, which the remaining would be closer to 7. So yeah, I'm gonna pour my resin. I'll be right back. Okay, so I mixed up 3 ounces of 1-to-1 Bond Crafter resin, and what I did was I put whatever loose powder came out of the beret in, and then I added a little bit more glow powder. I'm gonna try to pour it just in our pumpkin. Okay, so 3 ounces was too much. She does have that little stem, so squeeze it, get any gems out, get any bubbles out. I did make a mess. I'm gonna wipe that out. I made a mess. Wipe that up. Okay, and she needs to tip a little, so all right, we're gonna leave her like that. Hope she's stable. Now, how much did that take? It only took a half ounce. So I need to do something with the rest of this. What could be orange that could take 2 ounces? Well, 2.5 ounces. I guess I'll do an orange hippo. I'm not sure how much the orange hippo takes. Well, let's see, shall we? This is my hippo mold that I made. And we're gonna go like that. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna squish her and hope. Don't want bubbles. Black glitter does not belong in my orange mold. Thank you. Okay. Yep, we're gonna get a nice orange hippo out of that. And he's gonna glow. Okay, so how much did the hippo take? Well, I'm left with 1 ounce. I had 2.5 ounces, so 1.5 ounce. And I have to write that down. And what else do I have? Let's do a butterfly. This is also my mold. I made this mold, and I made this mold, and we're gonna hope that it comes out okay, because it would be nice to have a nice bright orange butterfly. Kind of reminds me of the monarchs that we used to have at home all the time. My grandparents had a wonderful garden, and we had monarch butterflies all the time. I lived in Hawaii growing up, and I don't remember a time of year when we didn't have them. In fact, my grandfather used to catch the caterpillars for me, and I did it a couple times as like science projects for school when I was growing up. Bubble, pop, pop. Thank you. I'm not the best at cutting molds. I'm just learning, so iffy. Yeah, I just started my foray into mold making, and I enjoy it. I really do. guess this mold takes more than I thought it did. So we're not going to be able to finish this one up. But that's okay. I'll finish it on my next pour. I don't know what it's going to look like after the fact, but it'll probably look like a creamsicle until the lights go out. Okay, so we're going to let her hat thicken up a bit. I mean, the resin's already starting to thicken up, as you could see from when I was pouring the heart. But we're going to let that hat get a little bit more set before I drop anything else on it. And I'm going to clean up, and then we will be right back. See you in a bit. Guys, I just realized that I made a mistake. I want these fairy lights in my ghost, and I want some in her hat. So that means I have to put her down there before that resin sets. So I took my fairy lights and I twisted them together. They're quite long, and I put some down in the hat, and now I'm bending it to fit into her arms. I want some lights to go into her arms. As long as I can do that, I shall be happy. Then I'm just going to twist those lights up around her body. And I want it to stay inside like that. Okay, and now as long as it doesn't displace our hat too much, I should be okay. I'm gonna leave the battery pack hanging here. Actually, I'm gonna let it sit on my glitter so that it is not pulling on the rest of the string, because gravity works. Yeah, I want those lights to stay in there. Very bendy wire. Love these fairy lights. These are the clear. They do have multicolor. I don't have those, although they might have been pretty in here because she is a ghost. But anyway, yeah, so now we leave her alone, and we'll be back in about a half hour. Half hour, 45 minutes. See you in a bit. And we're back, and this is set enough that I can go ahead and do the second part of our pour. So remember, I have a ½ ounce of resin in here. I also have all these wires, which doesn't take up a lot of space, but still. So the total of the mold is supposed to take 9.6 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and do 9 ounces and see if I need to mix up more. If I don't, hip hip hooray. If I do, oh well, I tried. I need to move these because I need this. This is Recollections Extra Fine Glitter, and the color is Glitz. It is a beautiful holographic white glitter. I'm using that. I'm also using this, which is the Say So Glow in the Dark powder in Sky Blue. Now, the powder is white. It doesn't go sky blue until you hit it with UV light. So the idea is, if I mix this with my resin and my extra fine glitter, my ghost should be white until we hit it with black light or take it out in the sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up 9 ounces of Bondcrafter 1-to-1 resin, and we are going to go from there. Okay, see you in a bit. So this is 9 ounces of Bondcrafter 1-to-1 epoxy resin. I dumped a heaping bunch of our glow powder in there, and I'm attempting to mix it in and break up any large chunks. And here's a good way to tell if there are any large chunks. They will fluoresce like that, super bright under the black light. I'm not overly concerned if there's large chunks, but I would like there to be an equal spreading of the glow throughout my mix. And right now I'm seeing chunks. I'm gonna let it sit for a bit and see if they will rise up to the surface. And I actually think I would like to put more powder in. Yeah, I see some chunks rising now just watching. I'm gonna go ahead and drop more in, like a lot, because that is 9 ounces of resin. Get it dunked. Mix it up a little bit. Okay. I don't see any super large bows, so I'm gonna leave it. Now in goes our glitz. You saw that was quite a bit, right? But this is quite a bit of resin too, so we're just gonna give it a dunk and then a zhuzh. I forgot to switch out. I don't like to use my paddles with glitter. I really don't. But it's already too late to mix it. As you can see, with that holographic glitter, I can see some blues, I can see some pinks. I really see the blue. And that's why I use blue on our ghostie's eyes. Okay, so This is 9 ounces of resin, and I just put in a big chunk of glitter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drops of Elmer's glue will help that glitter stay suspended in our resin and not all sink to her head, because that would be a funky looking ghost if all the glitter is down in her head. And again, I forgot to take out my paddle and use my stick because I don't like glue on my paddles. They're yucky. I'm going to use my fingers to get it off, which is easier said than done. Okay, now our big cup is going for a trip through the bubbler, and since it is big, I'm going to put it on my 10-minute timer instead of my 6, or yeah. So in it goes, and we'll see you back in 10 minutes. Okay, we're back, and this has been through the bubbler a couple times. I've had to release the pressure like 3 times. I'm scraping down my sides right now because that's how far up our bubbles went. And I'm scraping the bottom just to make sure everybody's in the pool. Okay, so this is 9 ounces of resin. And I realized I'm putting a plug in here at the end. So hopefully this isn't too much resin. Okay, this is nice and warm because it's been sitting around bubbling away for a while. So that's going straight in. And I am hoping for no bubbles around our wires and in the eyes and the mouth. There is a little lip at the bottom. Okay, for us, because we're pouring, it's the top. This will be the bottom of the ghost when we flip her over. Just noticed she might not be level. Make sure your stabilizers are where they're supposed to be. And have my wires where I want them. And this is my plug that I made. And I hope that this is going to work out. I don't want it to sink. Please don't sink. Kind of afraid, but I mean, they're already hot and it's already thick. Pop bubbles. Dude, alcohol resistant bubbles. What? There's one. There's another one. Going around the edge. Pull any bubbles away from the edge. Could be the glue that stops the bubble from popping. I see it rising and it's not popping. So, I mean, it could be the glue. Okay, here we go. Is it too heavy? I think it's too heavy. I think it's too heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let her thicken up a bit before I put our plug in. It is a bit heavy. The other one I made is thinner, but it's a little shorter and I have a, rounded edge there. So let's let it thicken up just a little bit. I'm going to pour the rest of my resin. Well, I'm going to finish off this heart that I was working on. I'm not doming him. He's hand cut and not well. I'm not even going to try to delude myself into thinking I cut it well. So I'm not doming that one. I'll bring it up just a little more and then that's it. Yep, that is it. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour it in my extras mold. This is my scraps mosaic tile mold. Pour it in and scrape it over, fill up any empty spots. Hopefully, by the time I get done with this, that will be thick enough, because remember, it's deep, so it's going to be curing faster than what's in the cup here and what's being scraped along my mosaic tile mold. So by the time I get done playing with it, I may be able to put our plug in. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Get it all out of there, because the more I scrape, the less I have to clean up. Plus, the more I get to fill my jar. I have a jar with all these little mosaic tiled scraps, and I have plans. I do, but you won't see them for a while. Okay, I wish I had one of them teeny tiny butterfly molds. If I had a teeny tiny butterfly mold, I'd be making little glow-in-the-dark butterflies. Spray this out. This is the only cup I have that will fit in my bubble machine that goes up to 16 ounces. This is the only cup I have that will fit in that machine because of the height. Because I have the small hobbyist machine. Now, I'm going to tell you, try not to use silicone cups in your bubble machines, because what they do is they cause bubbles. Absolutely cause bubbles. I don't know how, but they're definitely releasing air into the resin while it's in the machine. You can have 2 cups side by side, one silicone, one plastic, Same amount of resin, same mixture, because you just split it. And the one in the silicone cup will bubble, 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 way more than the one that's in the plastic cup. So there's my tip for the day. Do not use silicone cups. Even the paper cups kind of do it, but they're still better than the silicone cups. So how we doing here? I don't know. Don't know. I really don't. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that this side is higher than this side, and I'm wondering if I should put a popsicle stick under it or these things. We all get these things when we order resin. Everybody says it's a scraper, but it's not really a scraper. The reason it's tapered like this is because they want you to use it if you need to level out your piece. I see, that's better. And it's just a little bit, a teeny tiny bit. So while I'm waiting for that to thicken up, and I'm telling you now, it's nice and warm. It should not take any time at all. While I'm waiting for that to thicken up, I'm going to clean my scraper so that it's ready for the next time, and hope that I don't leave. See, look, I'm leaving glitter behind. As much as I'd like not to do that, glitter. I have multiples of this. It comes in a set of, I want to say 6. I really should have one for glitter and one for not glitter, because I have one for resin and one for silicone. But the issue for me is that I forget and I just grab whatever is closest at hand. So I clean this as best I can with alcohol, and once everything's all dried out, I will take a piece of packing tape and go in and dab it around the cup, and anything that was left behind, gone. That's how it works. That's how it works. All right. Okay. String face. Alcohol. And that goes right there. And I push it down just a little, which displaces some of the resin on all sides. And yeah, I put it in the center, which is already starting to cure out. I can feel it. It's like getting solid in the center. The sides are all squishy. Okay, leave it alone. Walk away. We will come back when it's time to demold these. And I'll see you in a bit. See you soon. Bye. Okay, guys, we're back. And this is cured. So we are going to get her out of the mold. Okay, well, the powder came out of the eyes and the hat very well. That is a sweet little mold. I really like it. Okay, now I don't like how close the wire is to her face, but what you gonna do, right? What you gonna do? That is supposed to slide right into that hole. I measured it. I swear I measured it. Oh, this side. Or not. It's a little tight. Let me try. I trim that up a little bit. Now, to be fair, I could have pushed that in deeper if I had come in like maybe 5 minutes earlier. That curve. Yeah, I would want to go deeper. So if I did it again, I would come in just a little bit earlier and drop my plug up, push it a little bit deeper. But I can probably fix that with my Dremel, because I can tell you now, there is no wire right there at the bottom. But in any case, when we're done, that's what she's going to look like. And when we turn on our light, she looks like that. Now she needs something for her mouth. Let's do red. Now she does have a little, that looks like a bubble, but it's right on the inside of her hat. So it could actually, it's either a bubble or it's a light bulb. Yes, I think red. She's a fashionista, you see. Hence the jaunty hat. I forgot, and I didn't know if you caught it, but I did, and you can see it. I forgot to squeeze her hands when I poured the resin. So there are bubbles, but it's inside. You can't feel it on the outside. Oh, this one you can actually feel. So the kid says we should put some gems there, but it's on the bottom. So what I'd like to do instead is, here's my story. She went to the pumpkin patch and she picked out a beautiful pumpkin, but no, an orange pumpkin is just too plain for her. It had to be something special. So she picked out a beautiful red pumpkin. And so what I'm going to do, she needs to be cleaned up a little bit. The pumpkin does. I poured these pumpkins yesterday as an experiment. I made a mold and I poured some pumpkins. So would our fashionista carry a red pumpkin, or would she carry a pink and white pumpkin? Maybe we should ask the kid. Kid, can I get your opinion? Yeah, so our little fashionista ghostie has a teeny tiny hole in the bottom of her hand. If it was in the front, I could put gems and make the magic, like you said. But it's right here in the bottom, and you can feel it on this side. This side she has bubbles, but it's inside.
Like you can't really see
feel it. So I thought she maybe went to the pumpkin patch and bought herself since she's fashionista, it has to be different. So it's either a ruby red pumpkin or a pink pumpkin, which is not very common.
The pink pumpkin's cuter, I think.
Pink pumpkin. Okay, so I'm gonna trim it up, and then I don't know how. Maybe I will bond it with UV resin and then E6000 it, just to be double sure that it won't fall. If I had a basket, I would do that. Put the pumpkin in a basket. But I don't have a little basket that she's carrying. I really need to step up my accessories game. Yeah, because the bubble's right there, right where she would be carrying it. I'm going to turn off her light. She's adorable, I think. I even gave her lipstick. You think I should bond it with UV resin first and then do...
I feel like the E6000 would be more secure, though.
No, I was going to say bond it with the UV resin and then put the E6000. The UV resin would keep it from falling until the E6000 would
I guess,
set.
if you think that will work.
All right. Pink and white. I need her to be able to stand up while I need her to stand on her head. There we go.
Headstand!
Yep, she's doing a headstand. All right. I'm going to drop some UV resin right there. And then I gotta pull all that yucky glue off of that. This is a practically full bottle of E6000, but the cap keeps getting messed up because the glue is overflowing. Well, while we're doing this, stick some glue in there. So I think that's as good as it's going to get. And what I'm trying to do here is, remember, I put some glow powder in here, trying to see if it was at all successful. Let's see. Yes, it was. She does glow, so that works. Kid, she glows. I've been abandoned. The child has left. She does glow. Yes, she does. And then we turn on her lights when she's not glowing. So, yeah. I'm going to let her lay back down so that her pumpkin can set better. And later I will Dremel out her recess for her battery pack a little better. Kid, did you want to see her glow? Turn off the light.
Boo!
That's what she says. Boo.
Play on words, mayhaps.
You can turn the light back on. She didn't look blue without...
Oh, that's,
well, no, she's still glowing.
oh, that's cool. I like that.
But she didn't look blue earlier, right?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that she was supposed to go blue, actually.
Yay! So there's our success story for the 13th day of the 13 days of Halloween. Thank you so much for joining us here in the game room. We had so much fun. The season's not over. Don't forget to check out the playlist below. Tons of other artists, tons of spooky season activities and projects. And yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you so much to Nerd Goblin Art for putting this collaboration together. Hope to see you again soon. Come back and join us in the game room next week. We're here every Thursday. Spooky season's not over. We still have, because we do Thursdays, we still have 2 more Thursdays before Halloween night. The final one being what the kid calls All Hallows Eve Eve. The day before Halloween. And we definitely will be doing a Halloween project on that day. But I'm not sure what we're doing next week, so come and join us. In the meantime, don't forget to play. See you soon. Bye.